Another year down and another great year for rap, for hip hop. Meaning this was a painfully difficult list to put together. What's up, YouTube? My name is Jason, and this is my take. And I'm back with the final video of the year for the channel as we break down the top 10 rap albums of 2022. I always find that when I put these lists together, no matter what genres I do, when it comes to rap, I always have like at least 40 albums on my list that I have to chop down to 10. I saw a lot of talk this year in general about 2022 being a weak year for hip hop, and I completely disagree. In fact, it's one of the best years I can remember in a while. We've had a very strong start to the decade for hip hop music, and today I'm gonna give you guys my top 10, which once again is about what I was returning to and listening to the most. I'm just gonna let you know, there are gonna be albums on here that, there are gonna be albums that I don't mention that you guys are probably gonna have to let me know about and that you're gonna tell me about. But I promise you, they were in the big list that I had. They just did not make the cut. So before I even jump into the list, let's go ahead and talk about some honorable mentions that were difficult to leave off this list. Some of those albums include Shade Noir's Food for Thought, Freddie Gibbs' Soul Separately, Joey Bad's 2000, Ransom's No Rest for the Wicked, Pusha T's It's Almost Dry, and the last album that did not make the cut is Kendrick Lamar's Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Don't Look at Me Crazy. So that right there should already just let you know how difficult this list was, because it was hard to keep those albums off for sure. They were amazing. So many amazing albums this year, but let's jump right into it with the number 10 album on this list, and that is from redveil, being Learn to Swim. 2 years to now, when it comes to his last album to now, I just have seen so much improvement from this guy. He's still such a young dude that's doing a lot. This album feels more polished. I really enjoy redveil singing a lot more on here, and he raps now like he just seems way more comfortable, like he's really like finding his sound and he's in his lane. And I love, you know, the water and swimming and that theme and how it was intertwined into this album. This album felt like this man was like in water, like swimming and like figuring it out, which was just really cool. I mean, this album cover is dope. Highly would recommend this guy to you. Like, he has his smoother moments, his softer, more singy moments, but he has some more upbeat ones. He has some hyper like trappier sounding tracks, man. That track with Fly Anakin, man. Automatic. I love that song. Shoulder, Sky. This guy is very much on my radar, and you guys should check redveil out. Number 9 on my list is the new Lupe Fiasco album, Drill Music in Zion. Lupe is one of the greatest lyricists, period. And it can be debated. This man is still putting out quality music. This collection of 10 songs here, this man made in 3 days, complete in 3 days, made this entire album. One producer just gave him the beats, he made it happen. And I don't know how you make an album like this, discussing the topics that are on here in 3 days. That just feels impossible to me. From the dangerous, awful things that are taking place in his hometown of Chicago, Southside Chicago specifically, to, you know, the chokehold that capitalism has on us in society. Lupe had a lot to say about it, and beautifully executed, might I say. We get Miss Mural, another album in the Mural series of Lupe with some of his best rapping. We get very little features, just a couple singers. Lupe wants it all, and he has a lot to say. I like that Lupe is one of those conscious rappers that he just never comes off boring or preachy to me. It's always substance and it's always impactful. And so he does that once again here on Drill Music in Zion. Number 8 on my list is the new Conway the Machine album, God Don't Make Mistakes. Griselda heavyweight, this camp is expanding, but at its core, to me, Conway had the best Griselda album of the year. And this was his Shady debut and the only album he's dropping on Eminem's Shady label. We always get that murder, drug music from Conway, but this was a very introspective record that saw Conway talking about a lot of things, from more details on the tragic shooting that left half of his face paralyzed, which the way that he's rapping and doing all this with that type of accident that happened to him, just legend, period. But Conway gets into his mental health as well, and just like the stress of the success and being a father and all these different things going on in his life. We don't really get that from an artist like Conway, from a Griselda member. We get Jill Scott featured on here and she's rapping. Man, I don't even know how to explain just what a moment that was. Or we get Benny and Westside Gunn on a track with Conway and Johnny Woo Flick. Like, this album has everything that I want from a Conway album, and it's his best one to date. Number 7 on the list is the new Saba album, A Few Good Things. Now, while Care For Me is still my favorite Saba record, this guy Saba came through with an amazing follow-up. More introspection on Saba's upbringing in Chicago. I really enjoyed his storytelling. I really enjoyed the production and the atmosphere. I mean, from the opening of this album and just like those birds chirping and you know, just that atmosphere, like, it really made for a beautiful record. And it kind of was, I like the way that Saba went about it with that production, with those sounds. Like, Saba got into a lot of dark things, a lot of tough topics, but the production itself was very much more beautiful and smooth. And I like that, because a lot of people feel that way in their environments. Like, I'm in a beautiful place, it's just a lot of awful stuff going on. And I really felt that listening to this album. So big shout out to Saba, one of my favorite artists, and continuing on this run. Speaking of runs, at number 6 on this list is the new Vince Staples album, Ramona Park Broke My Heart. I still can't tell you right now what Vince Staples' best record is, because he had to drop this album. That was, for sure, it was his self-titled record that he released last year, which was also on my top 10 rap list of last year. Vince says this is the last time he's getting into these type of topics. You know, just talking about that tough, like, you know, Cali, like Ramona Park upbringing, the violence Vince was involved in, you know, the gang and street life himself, and we get a little bit more of that introspection on here. It's not just Kenny Beats on the production this time, so we got a much more diverse record. We got Mustard on here. Kenny Beats also returns as well. But I really like that Vince stepped out with some more producers on this one. Amazing tracks, man. Lemonade with Ty Dolla $ign, DJ Quick might still be my favorite song off that record. Vince just seems like such a down-to-earth, like, normal dude, but then he breaks out the pen, and you just get a lot more layers to him beyond like just the goofy, funny dude that he is in interviews, and it's something that I just always will appreciate about him, for sure. So another amazing record. You know, Vince, if I can get another album next year too, you've been dropping them just year by year, so I'll take it, and I'll be waiting, man. Number 5 on my list is the new Smino album, Love for Rent. Project after project, man, Smino just evolves. He's just evolving before our very eyes, and I didn't know what to expect going into this new Smino album, but this man came through, bro. This man came through with such a beautiful album. You know what I'm saying? From sampling that Monica and Missy track on No L's, to getting Cole, to continue his feature run on 90 Proof. Pudgy with Uzi was just like so unexpected, but such a moment. We get Doechii on Pro Freak. Man, like, Smino brought heavy hitters onto this record, but he himself really just continued on this run of just amazing songs and amazing projects. I think Smino's singing improved. I feel like his rapping improved. Just his charisma, his character on these tracks, he just took it a step up. How are y'all saying that this wasn't a great year for rap? Like, when you got albums like this, like, it just confuses me. This to me is a testament of like the greatness of hip hop and its diversity. Some people don't even consider Smino a rapper, and I think that's idiotic. Yes, he is more melodic with it, but this man has bars. This man is a spitter. He's a rapper, and he came through one of the best rap records this year. I don't care what anybody says. So big shout out to Smino. My number 5, Smino, Love for Rent. Number 4 on my list is a personal favorite. that I don't think is going to be on a lot of people's lists. So I don't know. I just wanted to brag on myself with that. But number 4 is the Musalini and Ninth Wonder with the Dawn and I. Everybody that knows me knows I'm from North Carolina. Ninth Wonder, North Carolina native, one of the greatest hip hop producers ever. Him and Dilla are the two greatest to me. And he teams up with New York rapper the Musalini for an 11-track record, which just it came out of nowhere for me, but this thing is amazing. If I were to describe the Musalini, he very much is like, I don't know if there's like a title for it, or if people have already kind of lumped artists into this group, but he's like it's like pimp rap, like slick, smooth pimp rap. Rock Marciano is another guy I would put in this category for those who are into Rock Marciano. But the Musalini, when you hear him rap, like it's gonna grab your ears. His voice is very like slick and like a little high pitch, and it just has a sound to it that catches your ear. And over these tracks, he's just doing that. He's just on some slick like pimp rap. You get interludes and like little snippets in there of like actual pimps and like interviews, like talking about the game and like their hustle, and like Musalini just comes in rapping about it. And Ninth Wonder just gave him the perfect like landscape to do it with these silky smooth, soulful beats. It's what Ninth Wonder does. You hear this, like what it feels like is like Musalini in his element and Ninth Wonder in his element, and them both just being able to come together without stepping on each other's toes. Like it was just the perfect combination. Only 11 tracks, not even 30 minutes. Like give this a try. Like it's top to bottom. It's you're welcome. Our top 3. These were undisputable top 3 like rap albums for me. It was just about placement. But at number 3 is Denzel Curry with Melt My Eyes, See Your Future. And I'm seeing a theme here in this list, like as I'm looking at it now, it's like all these artists like all just like stepped it up and elevated, and all of them arguably dropped their like best records to date. And Denzel Curry, like I thought it'd be hard to top Taboo. I'm very sorry, Denzel Curry, to ever doubt you like that. This is easily Denzel Curry's best album, and it's I don't even know if it's close. You can tell that Denzel's just like been through a lot in the past couple years, especially with COVID and the pandemic, and what it's done to a lot of people in their mental health. Like Denzel is very introspective, very detailed on that, from talking about like suicidal thoughts to the need for having a gun or weapon on you to protect yourself. Some of Denzel's best songwriting, his best songs, period. And the song Walkin', man, I saw Denzel perform that live here in Houston, and when that song came on, everybody just went insane. Like, this man, like, is one of the best in the game right now. No Grammy nominations, which is just, how do you explain that? Like, this album is on everybody's list for top, like, hip-hop albums this year. How does this album not get a Grammy nomination? It just doesn't make sense, man. Shout out to Denzel Curry, man. Like, another diverse record. We get Robert Glasper on keys on this record. JPEG Mafia produced a cut on here. Yeah, Thundercat on here. Like, this thing has everything that I will want out of just a rap record in general, not just a Denzel Curry project, which makes it that more amazing. Number 2 on the list, and this guy, he was number 1 on my rap list last year, but at number 2 on this list is Nas with King's Disease 3. Once again, the story of runs, it just continues here. Nas comes through with his 3rd installment. Not sure if it's the final installment in this series, but it's the 3rd installment of the King's Disease series. Nas's fourth album in 2 years, which is just ridiculous. This guy is pushing 50 and might have proven that he is, in fact, the greatest rapper of all time. Because what this man did on this album, 17 songs, no features, no misses, no skips, no nothing. And Hit Boy took the reins again, produced all 17 of these tracks. This guy is the best producer in hip hop right now. There's nothing you can say about it. There's no debating. So Nas being on the run that he is, still being the lyrical like mastermind that he is, teams up with the best producer in hip hop. And here we are today. Like this guy can't miss at this point. You don't, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I expect Nas to come through again with another record with Hit Boy. Will it be another King's Disease? I don't know. Magic wasn't a part of the series, but we got it. So I know these two aren't done, and so that makes me all the more excited. Shout out to Nas and Hit Boy with King's Disease 3. And we've made it. We've made it to the #1 album, the #1 rap album, in my opinion, of 2022, and that is JID with The Forever Story. This guy submitted himself as a top 5 rapper in the game. This is the sequel to The Never Story that saw JID in a space of being very hungry, being very determined to make it in this game, to get to a place that he never thought that he would be. And what this album to me signified is that JID has made it. JID still has a long way to go, but he's clearly one of the best to do it, and he's here to stay. Like, it's no debating it. Once again, no Grammy nominations for this album, which has been on everybody's list, their end of year list, it looks like. So this was the best Dreamville release this year. Shout out to Earth Gang, shout out to Ari Lennox for great records as well. But like, this one is the one. This is the one for Dreamville for the year 2022, and no Grammy nominations. How do you explain it? JID comes through with some amazing storytelling. We get some deep cuts about family and the struggles that they face, from his, distance from his sisters to the trauma that his mom faced in the passing of his grandmother. Wayne and JID finally teaming up. We get Kenny Mason on this record popping up. Dirk had an amazing moment on this album. Like, 2007 might be the song of the year. Just like what it took to clear that song, and JID just going off. This was a special record, and just further cementing JID is one of my favorites. Not just rappers, but artists. Like, this guy's a pure artist. He was singing a lot more on here. Like, he doesn't need R&B features, singers. He can do it himself if he wants to. And it always sounds great. Bars, elite, once again, no questions asked. Shout out to JID, shout out to Dreamville. Like, this guy is, like, he's the future for sure. And so that's why he's in my #1 spot, man. It was, when I made this list, like, I put him in the #1 spot. I was like, it's just, there's no touching this album. So thank you guys once again. This has been my top 10 rap albums of 2022. Drop your list in the comments. What did I miss? What were your favorites? Let's discuss. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and thank you guys so much for another year with Jason's Take. We got over 100 subs. That was my goal. You guys are the best. You've been supporting, you've been engaging, and I really appreciate it. I try to comment back, give some likes and whatnot when I can, but you guys have been amazing. I'm gonna see you guys in 2023, and I'm thinking of doing an Ab-Soul review. The album dropped like a few days ago. If I had more time with that, it would have probably been on this list as well. So I might do that to kick off the year, but we'll see. I'll see you guys on the other side on 2023. I'm Jason. This has been my take. I'll see you next time.